Well, CBN chief political analyst David Brody joins us now for more on this. So is the president right? Is abortion the issue that most voters put high on their list?
Well, he's wrong, and here's the empirical evidence. Every single poll would suggest he's wrong. Look, Gordon, the latest Times Siena poll that just came out shows that only 5% of voters put abortion as the top issue in the midterms. That's it. That's game, set, match right there for Biden. We know what the number one issue is, the economy, and then we go from there. And so this is a real problem for Democrats, but it's not just the fact that abortion is not the number one issue. You know, Democrats have been spinning this as something that's good for them, that should work for them. And to a degree, they are right in the sense that many progressives need to get out and vote on the abortion issue for Democrats to be successful. Having said that, if you look deep into the polling, you have many voters, since the Roe v. Wade decision was overturned, you have more voters turning to the Republican Party, actually, than the Democrats. It's in that Times Siena poll as well, and a Harvard-Harris poll. 32% of voters used to say they'll go with Republicans. After Roe v. Wade, it went to 37%. So the trend is actually in the Republicans' favor on the abortion issue. So this idea that the media is kind of concocting this sense that abortion is going to be the Democrats' saving grace, it's just not there. Not to mention the fact, Gordon, that as much as Roe v. Wade kind of helped Democrats at the beginning, once it was overturned, now we're starting to see that indeed it's the economy, not abortion at all.
Well, I do want to take the other side in terms of, look at Kansas and the referendum there. That actually surprised a lot in the pro-life community that it was overwhelmingly defeated. They had an opportunity to put it in the state constitution, a right to life, and it got defeated by the voters. Are we underestimating the numbers that will turn out at the election?
I'm not sure if we're underestimating the numbers, Gordon. I think in Kansas specifically, that was a messaging issue for sure. You know, Republicans were just coming out of Roe v. Wade being overturned, and they were trying to kind of figure out the messaging on it. And I think that was a big part of the problem. But overall, look, you can make the argument what you just said about Kansas and say that the pro-life community would say, okay, the voters in Kansas have decided, and that's okay, not necessarily the final outcome, but it's okay that each state gets to decide, and that's what this has been about all along.
Well, there is a correlation between President Biden's approval rating and the price of gasoline. It's pretty amazing how the two track within statistical variances that are insignificant. So today, the president will release 15 million more barrels of oil from the strategic reserve to try to bring down gas prices. Do you believe voters will say his energy policies are either helping or hurting?
Yeah, there's no doubt they're going to say they're hurting. The polls show that, but beyond all of that, the policies show that. I mean, you know, Joe Biden is trying to strike a deal with Iran, the nuclear deal that's going to give Iran arch enemy, if you will, friends, and they're not friends of Iran, feel about that overseas. And so you've got the OPEC plus countries cutting 2 million barrels a day come November. There. So you have that. You have the woke policies by the Biden administration. I mean, he wants to go to all electric cars. I mean, this just in, not going to work, especially in this present day and age. And so really, this is all on the Biden administration. They decided to, in essence, cave to the climate activists. And this is what they're going to get. They're going to get kind of a political spanking, if you will, in November because of it.
Well, how severe will that spanking be? Because you look at the snapshot of where we currently are. The House seems to be strongly going on track to the Republicans taking control. But in the category of all politics is local, and are there problems with Senate candidates on the Republican side? And is the Senate going to change control? What's your prediction?
Well, it's tough right now. By the way, I've learned a long time ago, Gordon, as you know, if I were in the prediction business, I'd be bankrupt because it's tough. I mean, it's really hard. Having said that, there are 4 key Senate races. There's so many key Senate races, but there are 4 key ones that I'm looking at: Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Nevada. And look, Republicans have to do well there. I won't go through each one in detail, but the bottom line is that Pennsylvania Senate seat is extremely important because remember, that's held by a Democrat. So, or excuse me, a Republican. Sorry, I said a Democrat, a Republican. So it's incumbent upon Dr. Oz to keep that seat, and then I can go through some other ones. So the bottom line is, it's going to be harder in the Senate. The House looks good for Republicans, but there's about 30 House races that are key. Those are the ones to watch come November.
All right. Well, David, thanks for your insight. And if my predictions on the stock market are any key, I've been losing pretty badly this year. Is that going to be the ultimate, though, for these midterms? Do people have more confidence in the Republican Party managing the economy going forward, or do they want to stick with the